Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest financial moves you'll ever make, buying a house. But we're going to flip the usual script. We're going to explore this kind of crazy idea, how buying less house than the bank says you can might just be the smartest thing you ever do for your long-term wealth. So yeah, let's dive in and question some of that old school advice.
This quote, man, it just nails it. You get that pre-approval letter, and it feels like a golden ticket, right? Like, that's the goal. But what if it's not a goal? What if it's really a warning label? Just thinking about it that way, well, it changes the entire game. Okay, so let's unpack what's really going on here with this approval trap. It's so easy to see the bank as your partner, helping you get that dream home. And sure, they're part of the process, but let's be real. Their number one goal isn't your financial freedom. It's protecting their bottom line. So let's get crystal clear on what that bank approval number actually is. It is simply the math problem that tells the bank the absolute most they can lend you without you probably defaulting. It has zero to do with whether you can still save for retirement or take a vacation or, handle it if your car breaks down. It's their survival number, not your thriving number.
All right, so if the bank's number is out, what's the game plan? Well, this is where the strategy really kicks in. And it all comes down to a simple little shift, just 10%, that unlocks some serious financial firepower. Let's see how it works.
So this is what most people do, right? The conventional wisdom says you can spend up to 35% of your income on your house. I mean, look at that chart. That is a massive chunk of your money every single month going just to your mortgage, taxes, and insurance. It's the norm for sure, but just because it's normal, does that mean it's smart?
Okay, but check this out. This is the strategic move. By deciding to keep your housing costs down to just 25%, look what happens. That 10% difference doesn't just vanish. It's now free. It becomes your personal wealth-building machine, working for you month after month after month.
Let's make this real with some actual numbers. Say your household brings in $6,000 a month. That 10% shift isn't just some abstract idea. It's an extra $600 in cash every single month. That's money for investing. That's an emergency fund. That's what we call breathing room.
Now, having that extra cash every month is awesome. But the real magic, the mind-blowing part, happens when you zoom out and look at the long game. This is where one small choice today can turn into life-altering wealth over the 30 years you have a mortgage.
So you gotta ask, right? What if you took that extra $600 a month and instead of just letting it get spent, you invested it consistently? I mean, what can an extra few $100 a month really do over 30 years?
How about $1.8 million? Just let that number hang in the air for a second. By investing that $600 difference every month, assuming you get average stock market returns, it compounds into a fortune. And listen, this isn't luck. It's not about winning the lottery. It's just math. It's the result of one smart choice you made decades before.
Just look at this chart. It lays it all out. On one side, you've got the person who bought the biggest house they could. And sure, they've got equity in their house, which is great. But on the other side, that person has their home equity plus a massive investment portfolio. We're talking about two completely different financial universes here. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. There's always that argument for buying the bigger, pricier house, right? The one that goes, oh, I'll invest in it with renovations and make all my money back. But let's actually look at the data on that.
Come on, we've all seen the TV shows, right? The before and afters are amazing. And this idea that you can just pour money into a fancy kitchen and get it all back, and then some, is everywhere. But is it actually true?
You might want to sit down for this because the numbers do not lie. According to a major industry report, for every single dollar you spend on a big, upscale kitchen remodel, you get back, on average, 39 cents. 39 cents. You're not investing, you're losing 61 cents on the dollar. It's an expense to make your house nicer for you, not an investment to build wealth.
So what all of this really pushes us to do is to just rethink the whole thing. It's about changing what dream home even means. Maybe the real dream home isn't the one with the most rooms, but the one that gives you the most freedom.
All right, let's recap the big ideas here, because this is the stuff that really matters. 1, that bank approval number, it's a hard limit, not a target to shoot for. 2, try to hit that 25% sweet spot for housing to unlock that powerful 10% for wealth building. 3, never forget that tiny difference can grow into nearly $2 million. And 4, don't fool yourself into thinking that super expensive kitchen is an investment.
And that kind of brings us to the final question. Look, this isn't about making anyone feel bad about wanting a nice house. It's about being intentional with your choices. So you have to ask yourself, what's more important? The biggest house you can possibly squeeze into, or the financial freedom to live life on your own terms? At the end of the day, that's the real question, isn't it? The choice is totally yours.